March of the Machine's aftermath had its own consequences from those spoiler videos, and we are going to talk about it. Some people, they just can't handle surprises. They don't like it, and they react negatively to it. There's those people who don't like surprise parties. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And that's what happened to old school MTG, because Wizards of the Coast, because they didn't plan for this to happen with the Aftermath spoiler video, they didn't react very well. They've confiscated the materials from him, and they had him take his videos down. And that's, you can go check out his channel to get more updates and that stuff. I mean, he has a whole video discussing it. I was there, I watched it myself. And, too bad for that. I think Wizards kind of overreact in this case. It wasn't his fault, it looks like, so that's where we're at with that. But the second part of this, when you come to surprises, is it reverberated out like a pebble on a pond. The vibrations have gone further than that. Anyone who ripped off photos from those videos and put it up like MTG spoilers, they took all their content down. They took all those spoiler images and took them off their website. Usually they have one or two ahead of time, but because this spoiled most of the set, they took it all down. And they said they'll do the regular official, spoiler dates, which means Wizards of the Coast has every intention of following through on their original plan to do all their updates and spoilers for this particular product. They're probably considering this a hiccup in the machine. Now, I would have taken a different spin myself, but that's fine. That's where they've gone with that. But you know what you got to think about now? Now that we know what's in that product, now that we've seen the collector boxes of Aftermath, and it really doesn't look well. I've actually recommended to people not to buy the product because the collector boxes don't seem to hold any value for players long term. It just doesn't seem to be there when you look at the repetition of a small set. Like I said before, reminds me of Fallen Empires, Homelands, that sort of deal. But here's where things differentiate. When we take a look at that box, $279.95 Canadian per box for those 12 packs, okay? Burn that into your retina, right into the image, okay? You can sit down, pretend you had nachos and cheese beside you, but that's what you're eating next to you. You go, okay, I've seen that. I get you, Mox, man. All right, that's an expensive product for 12 packs. That's very expensive for the amount of cards you get inside. But here's where things aren't so bad for Wizards of the Coast, and this is where they should be spinning things. You may have failed on the collector box, but the booster boxes of 24 packs for $109, does it really seem that bad of a deal when you take $109 and you say, okay, let's divide that by that 24? That's like $4.50 a pack. No, it's not ideal. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's still a far cry from a collector's pack in terms of the cost basis. If you think players aren't going to walk into their card shop and crack a few packs of that, you're wrong, because they're going to. Just like we did with Fallen Empires when the packs were kind of cheap, and just like when you did it with Homelands. When you compare those pack prices versus back then we had Revised and other packs to choose from, we often went for Fallen Empires because back then they were trying to clear it out. It was like 50 cents a pack, 75 cents a pack. Well, in terms of value, that's where you went. Even if you didn't need the cards, you want, they want that crack packing addiction to go on. You're like, I want to open some packs, man. I just want to see what I get. Maybe I'll get a Hand of Justice. Maybe I'll get a Throll Champion. Maybe I'll get something cool. That's what we did, and that's what players are still going to do. This product is still a lot cheaper than many of the other products that Wizards of the Coast offers, and for those who just want to go into the store, rip a couple of packs, they're going to do it. I know stores that had planned on doing these mixed kind of like draft nights where it's like 3 packs of New Phyrexia, 3 packs of March of the Machine, and a couple of packs, of course, of Aftermath. There's ways of divvying this up and still having a very successful launch for a product like this. And the good news, and I guess there's good news, those cards in there are not that bad. The cards inside were actually pretty decent. The depowered Planeswalkers, the cards, the fundamentals of how they built the set are pretty good. It's the repetition that's going to kill the product. But if they constrain supply, if they tighten up and don't release as much, which is what I think they planned on doing anyway, then you're going to see the prices kind of hold value a little bit longer. They can do this just by not releasing all the product into the wild. And I know from a lot of the stores I dealt with, their pre-allocation numbers have been cut in the last couple of days. Okay, think about that. Last couple of days, you've been told I ordered 6 cases, I get 1 case. I ordered 2 cases, I'm getting 2 boxes. That's very interesting to me to look at. And this is that pebble vibrating out still. It didn't say anything about the draft boxes. Only the collector boxes are being throttled back by the look of it. The epilogue booster boxes of 24 seem to be the exact numbers people asked for, but anything collector box got throttled. Keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting these products. It may be actually a little bit harder to get right now because they throttled it back. Either they're holding it on the production line or the numbers actually are legitimately a lower production run because they knew it wouldn't be that popular of a product. Take your pick, but that means some prices of cards may actually hold a higher value than people originally have thought, including myself. When I actually got the numbers from the stores though, I was kind of like, oh, I was a little bit more curious to see how this will roll out and play out for players trying to get these products and open them, do box openings, have fun with friends, collect the set. Because it's only a 50 card set, so it won't be very hard to collect, except for probably 1 or 2 cards that are a little more difficult on the track sheets. Now, between the two products, the Epilogue Booster, the 24 packs, as well as the collector boxes, Wizards of the Coast is expecting a certain revenue level, especially from those collector boxes, that probably will not happen now. And they will be leaning more heavily on the Epilogue boosters, and that the average player just cracks a few packs here and there over a very long period of time. If they hold back some at the warehouse level and allow prices to be inflated to a certain level by not releasing as much product, that used to work in the past, but I don't think it's going to hold the product afloat at this point because players know what's in there. They know what cards are coming around, and they won't have that same thrill factor they would if it had been a brand new, fresh product and get that hype level going. The hype train's been thrown off a bit. It's sitting in a side station and it doesn't know what to do, so they're kind of humming and hawing at this moment, but I bet you they're going to hold some back, and of course that raises their warehouse costs by having to shelve this stuff for a longer period of time to drip dry the income out on those collector boxes, whereas they can go ahead with the epilogue stuff because players were going to buy that anyway. You're going to sell those boxes because it's a reduced price. And when those things go on sale in 2024, yeah, mark my words, in 2024, those boxes will go on sale. Players, there won't be enough of a drive for players to buy them, so it will be a deal to be found about a year from now, maybe less, but I'm saying about a year because I've seen how they've been doing it lately. I'm still going to stick to my guns on that one. You know, before I round things off for the video today, let me say, I think Wizards handled this poorly. I think they should have spun this a different direction and really leaned into this. If I was them and I saw the PR nightmare coming down the track, I would have contacted old school MTG. I would have sent him more product. I would have said, you know what? Awesome. The mistake was made. Let's take those lemons and make lemonade, and let's give this guy some more product. Let's boost things up. Let's have some fun with it because there's nothing we can do to change that now. I wouldn't have gone as heavy-handed as they did. Yes, I'd want to find out how it all happened. Of course, you want to go up the chain of command. You want to find out who made the mistake, give them a slap on the wrist and move on. But I would have done it a little bit differently than what they did. I may not like surprises all the time. Some people don't. But I would have taken that stuff, flipped it a little bit, and tried to turn it into a win for the company as a whole, as opposed to how they've done it. I still think the Epilogue boosters will do quite well. And yeah, I think the stores are going to be sitting on a lot of these collector products for a long time because they're going to get reprinted at some point. Players still know that as well. So if there's nothing really driving you to buy those products right now, although the depowered Planeswalkers are pretty cool, they are going to be a dime a dozen. There's going to be a lot out there, especially when you start cracking those epilogue boxes by the dozen at a time, right? At the lower price point, players will dive into it. It's still going to be a good product and a lot of fun for players to mess around with. So anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out. Let me know your comments in there, guys. Give a big shout out to Old School MTG for being the brave one to bring us Magic history in the making that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. Let's face it, this product, even if it doesn't sell well now, it may sell well later, because we have these attachments to moments in history like that, and this is definitely one of them. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Put those comments in the comment section. Give this video a like, of course, and I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow with another video. I'll see you guys then. Don't forget, bring a friend to Magic. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic supporters of MTG Moxman, all my wonderful patrons, as well as my YouTube membership members. You guys make this stuff possible each and every day. You're the ones. Thanks again to everyone. See you tomorrow. Well, here we are at the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Pretty awesome, right? I'm telling you. Wizards doesn't know how to roll with things the right way. They can't think quick. As a big corporate engine like this, they cannot think fast enough on their feet to capitalize on incidents like this. It's ridiculous. They could have played it so many ways. But anyway, regardless of the fact, I get it. I mean, old school MTG is probably not one of their like people that they support type deal, but still, it could have been epic. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for rambling here at the end. And before you know it, we'll be back here again. But first, I gotta get some dinner. I gotta walk the dog, and honestly, I gotta throw some laundry on. I gotta help out around the house. You guys should be helping around the house too. Don't forget that. It's important to help out. Always do one room a day. Some dusting, sweeping, mopping, vacuum. One room every day. The house always stays clean. There's your tip from the Mox Man. All right, let's get to cleaning.